volatility come into the market. So the interest rate was unchanged, but still that didn't stop retail traders from, driving price action lower, because that's what they do. They react on speculation, and it just moves the market. But then you noticed how U.S. dollar dropped dramatically based on that speculation, and then came right back after Powell decided, Powell began speaking at 2:30 at his FOMC meeting, which has kind of been really interesting because he was, he's the guy that implemented, we're going to start doing meetings after each, FOMC meeting. So after each rate decision or something, he wants to then do a press conference, which makes a lot of sense because it kind of stabilizes the market in a way, which is similar to what we saw happen yesterday. Is, speculation, all these traders come into the market, they start driving price action lower. Powell gets on the press conference and kind of settles all, those crazy emotions, and says that there's really, we're still at the same pace we're going at. There's nothing that's really, supporting the dollar falling even more in that moment, especially in that day. But it's just interesting to see how as soon as Powell starts speaking, everything starts to stabilize. He's very good at, calming the audience, calming traders, kind of bringing things back to reality. So that's what I like about Powell. He definitely knows what he's doing. But I just thought that was really interesting yesterday. For those of you who are watching either the conference itself or waiting for the news release for the interest rate. But I know we covered that lightly yesterday, right at the beginning of this live session yesterday morning. So this is very, very interesting stuff.
Yep.
What are the news?
Like, we got majority of people in here. I did start recording. So welcome, again to our live trading session. It's June 11th, Thursday. We're about to go over. We do this pretty much every day. We're about to go over all the pairs that me and Nick are looking at, obviously later in the week. So we're looking at our final, opportunities. And, as always, Nick's going to get started sharing up. Let me let you show. Nick's going to get started sharing up, looking at DXY. For you guys that are new, if you have any questions, just drop it in the chat. And, throughout the call, we'll just pick up. And, definitely feel free to ask any questions.
All right, guys. So this is DXY. As you know, it's a U.S. dollar index. I say this every single live session and on Sunday because of how important it is. So it makes up for 80% of all trade, U.S. dollar. It is the reserve currency of the world. So it is a good idea to always be aware of what's going on with the dollar, especially as it relates directly to a lot of the pairs that we trade. It's pretty much the driving factor for a lot of the pairs. So it's always good to stop in, check out DXY, see what's up. See if it's maintaining the trend, if anything's changed overnight, anything we need to know about, especially news-related things. So I'm going to get into that in a second. First thing I like to do, jump up higher time frame. So we're just going to start on the daily, identify a clear sentiment, right? U.S. dollar has clearly been bullish for quite a while. We've picked up some extra volume over here off the back of Corona news. That's what this huge spike was. So this is more or less irrelevant. So we can go ahead and drop time frames and see what's happening now at current price action. So again, right after Corona, we saw dollar stability, and then it ranged between 101 and 98.5. This was very good. We saw a lot of clean market structure form on other pairs, USD pairs specifically. So this was nice to see. Good ranging. This was very easy to predict when this was happening, but it did finally break out after the market started pricing things in. We started getting more reports from a couple months ago, and then this happened. It just started sliding off. And then the dollar just appreciated. So it kept sliding until we hit this monthly. So we're currently at this key monthly area around 96, which is okay. But, we have to figure out where it's going now, right? Is momentum going to continue? Is this going to push through this monthly and continue down to a lower level? Or are we going to start to see some consolidation followed by a potential reversal? So right off the bat, we can see that we're getting a bit of consolidation, right? A little consolidation here. Yes, it drops lower. Some more indecision around this area. We're getting some tweezer bottoms. Again, more consolidation. So this is a good sign. It could be the start of a transition to the upside, but we need to see this happen in order to confirm it. So we need to start breaking lower highs, essentially. Whether, and it's all going to start on the lower time frame. So if you see a break of a lower high on a 1 hour, that's a good sign. Then we want to jump up to the 4 hour and find that next lower high to then break. And then, and so on and so on. So right now, this is what we're looking for. Break of this, then a continuation or a reversal towards this, the lower part of the range around 98.5. So this is very likely. If we do see, the U.S. US dollar starts to turn around, this is what it will look like essentially. A little push higher, confirmed higher low, and then bullish setups pushing price action higher. So this is, I mean, we want to see it reverse. We do want to see dollar stability. This actually would look like an inverse head and shoulders if you actually look at it. This would be left shoulder. This would be the head. If it did follow this path, this would be a right shoulder. Then you guys can clearly see that, right? And the neckline would be up here, and then it would continue higher. So potential for this to happen is pretty high. You know, we want to see this happen, definitely. We want to see the dollar kind of gain some of its strength back and then consolidate in this upper area. But if momentum continues, the way it's going to go is it's probably just going to melt through this level and then come back for a retest, probably something like this, more or less just going to melt and then come back, something like that. Okay, so that would be the bearish option. Let's go and zoom out for a second and see what the daily's telling us. So if we just look to the left, this is a major zone right here. Every time we've come to this monthly, you know, we've gotten massive rejection, once, twice, 3 times. Even over here with all this news and all this momentum pushing price action lower from Corona, it's still bounced in this area. Huge bounce. So, I mean, it is likely to see that happen once again. But again, we are prepared for either scenario. So just be aware. And yeah, we'll obviously be covering this many times throughout the week. We're posting analysis updates, doing it on covering updates on this these live sessions, and of course on Sundays. So let's keep moving along here. Let's see what we could find on AU. Okay, off the bat, higher time frame. Let's zoom out. All right, AU is primarily bearish, as we can see, huge bearish channel, and then it got super bearish right here. Again, Corona news, and then it did a quick reversal on this 4-hour trend. So we can go ahead and drop time frames. See what the 4 hours telling us. Hugely bullish here, guys. Huge bullish trend, right? We got some powders in here. We got some ascendant channels in here. We have a lot of higher lows, breaking through resistance levels, retesting a support. This is a very strong trend, guys. Very strong. So so if we looked at the daily, actually, we are still primarily bearish until we get above this monthly, because again, we're just matching this lower high over here. So we are overall bearish on the daily, but we do see a very strong 4-hour bullish trend. So we really need to see something for this to be a confirmed reversal. So I marked this trade up yesterday as we were getting this double top from this area. You know, we wanted to see.
Just to pause you real quick. So you see how Nick is going through multiple time frames, and he's doing it fairly quickly, you know, with ease, you know. But obviously, this is something that you got to build up to do. But that's the name of the game here, is knowing where you're at all times. That's our entire, you know, style, just top down and everything like that. So
yeah, that's a good point.
Put that in there.
And notice when I drop down time frames, I'm not really scared to jump back up time frames, like just to get an overall look. Because, you know, again, as Angelo said, you always want to be aware of where you're at on higher time frames and lower time frames. So on the higher time frame, we know that we're bearish. We matched the prior lower high, so now we can drop to the 4-hour with that in mind and start looking for some reaction at this level. We know that we're at the prior lower high. So we're either looking for a break of this level, a clear daily transition to the upside, or a reversal, which we've seen many times from this level. So right now it's looking more or less like a reversal. We got this double top, a lot of exhaustion. This was that little bit of a new spike from yesterday, and then it came right back down. So this was pretty good trade setup. You could have entered on this right here. I'm actually going to drop to the 1 hour on this particular chart just to show you guys an example. So this right here, right? So, right, let's say this is the low, this is a higher low, this is a higher low here, but it pushed lower, and then it finally broke this level right here, this 0.696 area. So it broke, came back, retested. This could have been your entry in here somewhere on the exhaustion, on the rejection of this level, and the MAs. Could have had a nice little trade there. So let's go to the 4 hour and see what that looks like. So yeah, you would have been up a good amount of pips, about 40 pips. So the safer entry from right here could be on a pullback. So we want to look for a retest of this trend line, and then you could enter on that. So there is still a valid trade here. Potential for a valid trade. Potential for an entry. So you just want to see a pullback, right? Confirm lower high after we've closed below this higher low here on this time frame. and then we'll look for that transition short. So bearish engulfings, bearish, evening star, bearish variations. You just want to see those confirmations at a key level, confirming a lower high and then a continuation to the downside. So this would be a confirmed transition down to which would 0.675. So that would be our target. A good amount of pips, about 200. So yeah, this is definitely in play. I mean, we're going to be watching this one for sure. So this would be a big move, especially since we're getting, this is, a monthly zone. This should be playing into a daily trend, daily bearish trend, and then we're getting these strong reversals. So this could be a really nice trade, but we're going to wait on it. A few confirmations away, but still very, very close. All right, guys. So now we're going to get into AJ. AJ. All right, so let's go to the daily for a minute. We're just going to break this thing down from higher time frame, work our way down to the 4 hour and 1 hour. So what can we see on this time frame? Very bearish, right? Very, very bearish. So we're breaking through this key monthly level, testing as resistance. This is a lower high here on this time frame, right? Riding within the channel, lower high, good rejection, and then continuation to the downside. That's where we're at right now. This is merely matching the prior lower high. We're at the monthly, so it is still very much bearish on this daily time frame. All right, so with that said, let's drop to the 4 hour. Let's get an idea of what current price action is doing. We have a very strong 4 hour bullish trend, as we can see. Lots and lots of volume coming into the market, pushing price action higher fairly quickly up to this monthly. And then we're starting to see some rejection. Price action starting to slow down. We're getting some consolidation. This was a little bit of a pennant, continued higher, reversed from this monthly, and then came back down. So what we're looking at now is a bit of a head and shoulders. Left shoulder, head, right shoulder, and then it dropped and finally broke the neckline. But I actually put a trade out because this is also a flag here because just the size of this and the volume. So like, let me go to the 1 hour for a second. So this is a flag, clear as day. Here's the flagpole. This is a flag, and then it finally broke out. And we put an entry out right here as it closed outside this trend line, outside this pattern. I put an entry out there. Stop loss was protected outside the flag, outside this key level right here, around 75.7 it was. So that's where we protected ourselves. And then we simply targeted the top of this trend line that it had broken. So this was the giant descending channel. This is that resisting trend line, which is now support. That's what we're targeting. And also the 50% fib level on this bullish leg. So definitely likely that we're going to see that happen. I mean, again, we have a confirmed head and shoulders. It broke as well as a flag. We're already well in profit, about 120 pips. And yeah, this was put out in our signals group, guys. So right now, I mean, there is no entry on it. We're simply managing this trade, and we're looking to get down to the 50% level around 72.7 and, potentially even lower. So I'll just go over some quick management rules of how we're going to handle this. Is as this gets lower, if it gets to our final TP, I'm probably going to close 2% worth of profit and then let the rest run. So we're going to lock in 2% once we get down here and then just manage it as it continues to drop. Okay, because we could even see it come down to this weekly, and we don't want to miss out on all that extra profit if it the potential for that profit. So we're gonna manage the position, close most of it once we get to that final TP, lock in 220 plus pips, and call it a good trade. So this is where we're at right now. Definitely looking like a clean reversal on AJ. All right, let's keep going. We got EU next. All right, so this one is not as clear, still kind of just consolidating, but let's jump to the higher time frame for a second. Daily trend, super bearish, as we can see. Let's drop to the 4 hour, see what's happening at current price action. All right, so we had a little bit of consolidation over here. Right, this actually was supposed to be, this zone got deleted. So this was some ranging, right? We covered this a while ago in some previous live trading sessions. A lot of ranging right after that Rona news. So this was pretty consistent with DXY. We saw that ranging happening. This was pretty easy to trade. I know we caught a whole bunch of trades in here, caught some buys, caught some sells, and then this huge rally came. So this is a giant, or a very powerful 4 hour bullish trend. It's almost straight up. It's like as straight up as you can get given this time frame. So like this is looking pretty crazy. We haven't really formed any great structure I mean, we do have some key levels here, some minor levels in there as well. Let me go ahead and just label this one. So, you know, again, a minor level in here, 1.35, right? You guys can see that level pretty clearly, I'm sure. I'm going to mark this in blue. So there's some minor levels here, minor level here, some major levels here, 1.13, another zone right here. So, you know, and there's consolidation happening now. So this is not as clear as we'd like it to be. We still wanted to see that huge pullback to a fib level, but, you know, it's not happening yet. Again, it's just consolidating at this high. So the fact of the matter is this could keep going. This could keep pushing with momentum. We're simply just consolidating. It could be building up more momentum and then could take off right to our monthly around 1.15. We'll see. But right now, there's not really a safe trade. I mean, you could take, you know, a confidence buy if you see some lower time frame confirmations and actually have a pretty good risk reward. But again, it hasn't formed any great structure. You know, not structure that we want to see anyway. So let's go ahead and fib it. I'll show you what I mean. So like, okay, so if we fib to the low to the high here before this high is established, look, it only came to the 23.6, right? That's not true structure. And then it pushed higher. I'll even go to this wick up here just so we can get, you know, better understanding of what we need to see happen. So let's go ahead and fib that. All right, so this is our confluence area right here, 38.2, where we saw prior rejection. So we want to see for a safe entry, I want to see this. Right, I want to see it pull back, maybe consolidate a little more, give us some sort of pattern, and then push higher towards the monthly. This would be a nice trade to see. 200 plus pips. I'll take that every day of the week if we can get that nice pullback, good confirmation that it's going to continue, MA cross, and so on. So this is what we're looking at right now. But again, you know, if momentum continues, it's just going to go straight up and not really give us a great entry opportunity. So we're kind of waiting on EU still, waiting for it to form a little better structure, give us a more clear price action. So that's where we're at right now on EU. Let's keep going. I got EJ in gold for you guys. And then let's see. All right, so let's jump to the daily for a second. Again, much like EU, very, very bearish. There's actually more volume on EJ than EU. So we have this wider channel, but still very much bearish. So let's go ahead and drop time frames for a second. Drop to that 4 hour. All right, super bullish, super bullish, much like EU. Practically straight up on this 4 hour. Just look at the size of these candles. So much volume, so much bullish volume. So it actually pushed up to this level. Hold on, let me zoom out one more time. Just want to identify this area. Okay, so guys, this is our next key level, right? Once we saw this break happen, this blue zone was clearly the most significant resistance level that we wanted to see hit, right? We saw massive rejection. It was support for a while. Finally broke, tested as resistance many times, and it has proved to be a pretty strong area. All right, we did erase quite a bit of lower highs in here. All of these got erased as this pushed higher, but it is still, you know, matching prior lower highs. This is more or less just a test of this area once again. And if we zoom in, we could even see a giant evening star, a daily evening star, huge bullish candle. Price action stopped on a dime basically, and then came right back down. Huge evening star. So, you know, still pretty much bearish in the daily time frame, but however, as we just covered, you know, the 4 hours so bullish. So let's go ahead and figure out what we could see happen from this area. I'm just going to redo all of this. Right, so we have seen that it came back. We know the trend is bullish. We have seen that we hit this 38.2. So this is structure, guys. This is a structure level. We want to see either a continuation or a pullback to a deeper fib. So in order to see this happen, we need to see a push, a slight break of this area right here. Right, I'm going to call it 121.85. So I want to see this. This would be a lower time frame transition. This would be more or less a 1 hour transition. So we want to see that. All right, get it confirmed higher low with strong bullish setups, and then we're long. Then we're long. We're going to continue higher. And we could even target up towards this monthly where our negative 27 fib level is. So this would be a really good trade, really good trade. You'd have a pretty tight stop loss if we see this happen. So let's see what this would look like. Almost 400 pips, or just over 400 pips actually. And our stop loss would more or less be here, about 100 pips. So this is a over a 4.0, a 4.0 risk reward. Very, very good. Very good trade. So this is pretty likely if we see those confirmations. But if this does decide to pull back, look for price action to get to the 61.8. Okay, this is our next golden level. This is a nice little pocket in here. There is some confluence. Let me go ahead and highlight this area for you. So this is where we're looking to get to next, 61.8. And then again, we'll apply the same exact method we just covered. Look for a reversal, lower time frame transition, get in on a higher low with strong bullish confirmations. Okay, so that's EJ, guys. That's EJ. Looking pretty good. Looking pretty good, but
Oh, yeah.
still a little way out. Need some more confirmations before we make a move. All right, so finally, guys, gold. Oof, and I'm pissed I missed this friggin' entry. If I woke up a couple hours earlier, I would have got this.
Oh,
But anyway,
wow.
I know. So I'll cover in a second. So if we go to the daily here, guys, super, super bullish. We know that. That's been established on gold. It's crazy bullish. So let's just drop down. Let's stop messing around and get right into it. So this monthly was our key level, key resistance here. Tested, rejected, came back through, finally broke, and then started testing as support. So all this is pretty much higher time frame consolidation, right? I mean, even though these ranges are pretty damn big, so it's like, let's say even this is like what, 500 pips, something like that, 500 pips, 900 pips. So this is still consolidation in here, right? We're looking for that huge move to push us to the new zone, or to at least test the top of this range. So that would be 1800, right? That's our handle right now. So we're looking to get up to that area. Price action came back down over here at most recently, came down on this little 1 hour bearish trend and then transitioned. And it finally broke to the upside. After we broke these minor levels, it's 1695. You can see that it was kind of a lot of indecision in here between 1700 flat and 1695, which is our key structure level. So it consolidated in here for a little while, finally found the momentum and pushed higher above the 200 AMA, above our MAs, gave us an MA cross, and then showed good volume. So this was a nice potential entry right in here after this candle. Could have entered on there. I took a small position on that around 1708, and then it consolidated some more, not really showing too much conviction. And then this bullish candle actually took off on the news yesterday, and it's been holding, which is interesting. So I mean, gold is a safe haven commodity. It's always going to appreciate. It's interesting to see how this is the only pair that really held after that news. It didn't ripsaw, didn't come back after Powell decided to jump on the press conference. So very interesting. And now it gave us a little bit of an entry opportunity as it broke these minor levels. Let's go to the 1 hour and just give you guys a better idea. So look, this was that established resistance right here, this level. Just drag this across right at 1724, right? So it broke higher, clearly broke higher with strong bullish momentum, came back down through the MAs, almost tested the first time, but came back down and tested again, gave us a clear tweezer bottom, and then boom, you could have entered somewhere in here or on a even lower time frame. I'm going to drop to the 30-minute for you guys because I'm feeling a little generous today. So you could have entered on some rejection from here. Look at all that exhaustion at that level. Just look at it. Look at all those wicks. Huge exhaustion. That could have been, potential entry, especially on this bullish candle here. Could have entered there and then targeted 1800. Right. So let's go ahead and see if this makes sense overall on the 4 hour time frame. Stop loss would have been way down here. Again, it is 260 pips, but we're looking to get 800. So this is a 3-0 risk reward. Very, very good trade. Good risk. Well protected stop loss. So looking pretty good. Again, I missed this damn trade. A little pissed about it, but it happens. That's trading for you guys. All right. So quick recap. I covered DXY, AU, AJ, gem of the friggin' week, EU, EJ, and gold. All right, so I'm going to pass this off to Angelo. Damn, look at this thing. I'm going to pass this off to Angelo, and he's going to cover some majors.
Dope.
Let's go. Let's freaking go.
Yeah, that was solid analysis. So for everybody, what the hell is this? For everybody in the group, if you guys want in on the giveaway, just post in the chat your Discord name. You guys aren't in the Discord. I just posted a link where you guys can join. So, we'll do the $20 giveaway every single day, obviously end of the week. So last giveaway of the week. So if you guys want in, just post in there. I'm going to go ahead, share my screen. Boom. So I also want to just make a note or touch on the fact that AJ trade that Nick gave out, I believe, even AU too, you're doing analysis all the way up on the weekly. Like you were waiting a minute for that to play out.
For a while. Long time.
Yeah, you were waiting a long ass time for that to play out, which is what I'm gonna go over now on my chart. I'm just gonna post this analysis real quick.
Yep.
Broke.
Oh, nice. You already showed. Good. Cool.
So, we've been waiting for things to play out through really all last week. Last week we didn't have many positions. We were being patient, but that's because there are some huge moves that are about to happen. Obviously with AJ, huge move just went down. With that Nick got in on with no drawdown. You know what I'm saying? Like no drawdown at all. So that's what's sort of coming into picture now with a lot of these pairs. I talked about last week, about DXY potentially coming to a level where it can reverse from. It looks like we're getting some rejection, at this monthly level of support now. We're hitting some lows right now. I personally do expect DXY to pull back, into these levels. For it to fall below here would take a lot.
Yeah.
It would definitely take a lot for it to start to fall below, the average of the last 200 days. It's trying to maintain that at the moment. We got this monthly level support, that was maintained pretty aggressively. So we'll see. I do expect some sort of reversal. We are getting some rejection there. And then that really just correlates with every single pair, that we're looking at right now. I know yesterday we had a little UCAD trade. I want to go over that trade, some lessons learned from that trade, and then also what we could have done differently. But at the same time, it was a good trade that was given out. What we've been looking for on UCAD is this huge fall off from the weekly time frame, start from the higher time frames. We're looking for that next level of support. We're looking for that first higher low. So I had marked out this daily, resistance, now turn support, right here. This is the level that it really started to wick off of. I'm not like a magician or anything. I just literally looked at the highs to the left. This was retested 1, 2, 3 times, 4 times. And then this wick here, told me that this was definitely a level that previously a lot of buyers or sellers came into the market. A lot of orders came into the market, so we can expect very similar volatility when price comes back into that area. So, down to the daily time frame, as we're approaching this level, what I'm looking for is on the daily time frame, I'm looking for signs of reversal. Signs of reversal here. No real bullish candles form, even though these dojis form, just kind of slowing up in the market. We continued on. And then the other day we formed this spinning top, which is much more of a reversal candle. We had yet to make it into the zone though, which is why I was still trying to short, which is why I had shorted yesterday. We had yet to make it into the zone. And then pretty much based on the backs of that meeting yesterday, I was all the way down on the 30-minute time frame. This was a very aggressive trade, one that normally I wouldn't take, but I did. And basically what I had saw was I just saw this 30-minute break of structure right here. We had formed this high, came back, pulled back through. So this kind of became like a main level of structure for me because of these moving averages. We broke below, and then I pretty much shorted right here, I'm pretty sure. And my stops were above the 200 day. So my stops were like right here. They were like 55 pips. They were at 420. And, we came very close to stop loss. Things stopped on the dime, right here. I was using this level right here as my last line of resistance. I was looking at this as resistance. More importantly, though, this right here, this is structure for me. I was looking at that. We had we didn't break. We actually just tested it. So we came right here, I was just holding. I was like, okay, we got to see how this next candle forms. If this closes above, then we're going to be, stopped out of the order. And, this came into some profit. We ended up coming into profit around 70 pips, which is why I advised everyone in the signal room to move our stops to zero. Move our stops to zero. There was a lot of volatility in the market. I didn't want this to happen, which inevitably did happen. But at the same time, I think a lesson learned that I took back from this was based on news. This was based on news coming out. And like me and Nick always talk about, news really just accelerates the trend, the overall trend. So with it in mind that I was looking for price to come into this area, really because of the news factor and because we hit our target realistically, we should have closed. We should have closed the order, up around 60 pips or so. We could have secured like 2% on the order. We should have closed, and then we should have waited to see, was price going to consolidate in here and validate that this was a true push, or was it going to do this, which it did. You know what I'm saying? So that's a little lesson learned for next time. We did move our stops to zero, so we didn't get this whole, we didn't take a loss or anything like that. But just like my thinking after a trade, trying to evaluate what is a better opportunity. Now with UCAD making this move upwards, we can sort of start to think about, fulfilling this weekly idea, this weekly higher low. As we start to come back, I'm going to be down on the daily, see how today's daily candle closed. But most importantly, I know where we're at with structure. So I'm just going to sit on this 1 hour, and I'm starting to see, or I want to see a 1 hour reversal. We had seen a lot of, lower high being formed here, lower high being formed here, lower high formed here, lower low, lower high, retest the low, little minor lower high here. We're just breaking this level now. So I really need to see my first higher low. I need some sort of pullback, and then we're gonna try to long this, back into this monthly level. And this could just continue to accelerate. In that case, I'll have no entry, on this, which is fine. So I'm just looking for some sort of pullback here, and then we're gonna long UCAD. So I'm gonna keep UCAD on my lower time frame. I'm gonna keep it orange, looking for entries on that. Then let's go over to NU. Same thing, up on the weekly time frame. Weekly time frame, we are looking to fulfill weekly structure right now. We have been making lower lows and lower highs, lower low, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, boom, right there. So we're looking to continue this weekly trend. Previously we had gotten some price action confirmation to sort of show us that we're going to continue lower. All that is this down to this daily time frame, very similar to here. We're looking for that cross. And because I have so much confirmation here, I'm confident enough to go down to the 1 hour. So we have this resistance, this red zone that I have marked. What is that based on? We just go down to the daily time frame. I based it on very minor, but still relevant. I have resistance here, support here, support here, drag this across. This became like a support and resistance level for me that it's retesting right now. And then obviously I also have that trend line that I have from the weekly, which is very, very, very important. So down to the 1 hour, I'm trying to see structure. So I see higher low here, higher high here, higher low here, higher high, higher low, made a new high, higher low, right here. And then we had this, another minor pullback. So this for me became my most recent higher low, and that just broke. So now all I'm looking for is I could either honestly short right now, and my stops would have to be this high. They would have to be really above this level. I'm not bumping down to the 30-minute yet because I'm basing this on the weekly and on the daily. I want to stick to the 1 hour right now. The 1 hour is the most valid for me. Again, I could either short right now. I would have to have stops all the way up here, or we can wait for this to be validated, a little bit more. We can wait for, much like UCAD, this pullback right here and then short. So if we get very similar to these pullbacks, through the moving average, we're looking for price to pull back, little cross, and then we're looking for this, dump through the moving average, they cross. That's when we're going to enter. Entries are much of the same every single time. So That's NU sitting on the lower time frame with this one as well. Let's bump over to GU. Again, we've been very patient, and a lot of things are coming into picture now for us. Like a lot of things are playing out exactly the way that we wanted them to. So down to the weekly time frame, or up to the weekly time frame, we have been descending. We're below this 200-day moving average. We broke this low to form this lower low, lower high here. We retested this low. Now we're accelerating back bullish. But I am looking for my next lower high. I'm still bearish. I'm still below this previous lower high on the weekly. So I am searching for that next lower high. As I come down to this daily time frame, structure did break on this, but with it in mind that our weekly is bearish, we are, like I said, looking for that lower high. Let's see if we can even put on some sort of trend line. So we're not here yet. So this isn't, I'm not going to keep this on. It's not really relevant. But, I am watching price right now. We're falling. I had talked about yesterday, even down to this 1 hour. I talked about yesterday, we need to break back below this level and retest, this monthly level. Let's just look at structure on the 1 hour. We have this high, we have this higher low, we have this high, we have this higher low. Then we retested the highs, retested this higher low, made a new high just now. So we need to break this. This is the level that needs to break right here, quite simply. This level for us needs to break, and then we're going to need to get, that retest to form a lower high before we get short on this. But this is like very, very critical level right now. So we could consider taking breakout entries on this. I normally won't take a breakout entry, though, unless some sort of lower high forms right here. Like this is just falling from the tops. So I would have to put stops really high up here. So, I'm going to wait and just see if we can get, I can imagine we're going to get some support, like some resistance here. So again, this is on the watch list, GU for sure. Let's look at USEF. USEF, I'm not really watching right now, too closely because USEF has just been falling. We had been covering this for quite some time, so it was a lot to learn from this, from all these opportunities in here. We've been covering this literally for like the whole entire duration of this quarantine. We've been covering this pair, all the way since March. We've been talking about this as a lower high, next short opportunity. Yesterday I even came in here and did as much as to bring this trend line in here just to highlight the fact that we really did break below like an appreciating market, and then we turned bearish. I don't need to keep that on though, but right now we're just falling, back to these lows right now. What could happen here as I bump up to the monthly time frame? We could continue to descend lower. We could continue to descend lower, but at the same time, we got to keep in mind that this level, hasn't been broken in quite some time, hasn't held this like 9,300 level, hasn't broken in quite some time. So, we could potentially come to retest that level. I'm just going to mark this up. 9,300. So like right around here, this level is a level that will most likely be tested again. But there's really no structure for me right now on this. I need to see some sort of pullback. I put this on yesterday. I need to see some sort of pullback and some other structure to form. I do anticipate that with USD making its move and for us targeting all these other pairs to go in the direction of USD. I do expect this to appreciate and to come back up and then retest. So if we can get in something similar to this, that would be freaking money right there.
Yeah, that would be good. Be very good.
Yeah, that would be sick. So again, we're looking for something similar to this to happen. We're looking for price to come up, retest these highs. That would be like 38.2 on the fib if I were to fib this, retest that level. Because we also got to remember, as I bump back up, our fib is on the daily. We are falling right now from a 618 level. That doesn't mean we're going to get all the way to zero without retesting a level. We're probably going to pull back, retest this level, or we're going to fall down to here, retest 38.2. I'm just waiting for the next pullback and comfortably stay within this trend.
Yeah, that's a big confluence area. That makes a lot of sense that there was a pullback. What were you on, the 4-hour or something?
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, you guys see like if it follows this pattern to this confluence area, this main resistance level right here, it pull back through the MAs, give us some lower time frame, structure in there, and then proceed to drop. And there are like smaller transitions in there, which you can find plenty of entry opportunities on lower time frames. So like let's say it did pull back, right? He would then drop to the 1 hour or 30 minute and start looking for those potential entries, those bearish engulfings, those evening stars, those bearish variations. And that would lead to a very good trade.
Yes, sir. These are all facts. So let's go over to UJ. UJ is UJ is looking so UJ is like just kind of highlights what I'm talking about when it comes to structure, because the weekly time frame is bearish in the sense that we broke this higher low, made this low, retested, now we're obviously falling, but we were at one point down in this level, and I had been talking about this as daily structure for since literally April 20th. I've been talking about this is daily structure. This is daily structure. We need to see how it retests this level. You know what I'm saying? Like, this isn't bullshit what we're saying. Like, down to the 4-hour, we had a break of structure. Made this higher low, made this high, made this higher low. But I wasn't trying to long. I was even still looking for shorts based on that weekly, daily sentiment. I was still looking for short opportunities. Then, price obviously accelerated up into this area. And as this is happening, I'm bumping up to the daily. I'm like, okay, what is my overall structure? On the daily time frame, this happened. We came up, opened this week, with this candle. Or last week, this was the final candle. You won last time, dude. You won, yeah, Stephanie. You won. You won the giveaway yesterday. Relax. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. So, we were, as this candle forms, until another candle forms above here. This is still just being tested, guys. That's what you got to realize. This is still being tested. This is still structure. This is how you take advantage of those higher up, trades, like those higher up opportunities. On the 1 hour, I talked about, I highlighted this daily candle. We went over this last 2 days in a row. This daily candle I highlighted. What does this mean for us down to the 1 hour? That's where structure is, based on this daily. 1 hour, we had broken this level. I could have shorted all the way from this, but my stops would have had to be pretty high up. They would have been up here. Obviously we're falling pretty far, so it would have validated this trade, the fact that it is falling this far, but it doesn't matter. It didn't fit my entry rule. You know what I'm saying, for this area. And just because of how wide my stop would have been, I wasn't comfortable with that entry. But, what I'm talking about is like, okay, so we respected daily structure. Now what's happening? We're coming all the way down back into this level, back into this daily support level, this daily higher low that has formed. So where is my next opportunity? You know what I'm saying? Where is my next opportunity? We just broke structure on the 4 hour. Boom. We want to highlight this out. We just broke this, which is significant. So structure is bearish on the daily, bearish on the weekly, bearish on the 4 hour. Obviously the 1 hour is bearish, 30 minutes bearish. Every time frame is bearish, guys. Every time frame is bearish. So at this point, what do I want to do? I need to wait for some sort of pullback. I need this market to breathe a little bit. I anticipate that happening probably in this area, probably off of this level, get some sort of pullback. Obviously this was the forecast, either down here or break, retest. The break and retest invalidated, we fell down here. That was the original markup. So at this point, what do I need to happen? Moving averages are starting to cross. I just need some sort of pullback here so we can get in on like a healthy trade. And, we're going to wait on this for a little while. Ideally, it happens on the 1 hour for me because of how bearish this has been. If we can pull back, similar to these pullbacks through the moving average, that's what I'm looking for right now. I'm looking for price to accelerate back up, retest probably around this 200-day, back around this daily 618 level. A couple confirmations there, back around where this moving average is crossed, and then we're going to look to get short. So nothing doing though on UJ for now. We're going to have to wait. We're going to have to wait on this. wait out things play out, which is fine. We'll be patient, and then we'll just take advantage. We'll freaking strike when the opportunity comes. GJ, we went over this yesterday, what was going to go down on GJ. This thing's playing out, weekly time frame. Bearish, trend line, bearish. We're looking for that next potential lower high. Right here, this was a previous level of support or resistance on the daily time frame. I marked this across on yesterday's live call. You know what I'm saying? This was support all in this area. This was resistance right here. Boom. Yesterday we saw some momentum come off of this level, but I had to bump down. I had to, guys. I had to do it. I bumped down to the 1 hour, up to the 1 hour structure. GJ moves has a lot of pips, so I don't like to go past the 1 hour, below the 1 hour. 1 hour, this is that high or low that had formed. We formed this high. Then we started to get these minor breaks here. As this lower high formed, we could have potentially took opportunities. A lot of people have highlighted that this is a head and shoulders pattern. Right here, boom, boom. You could have tried to take advantage of that right shoulder. If you were anticipating this move, that would have been a fire trade. If you got in on that, entries would have been here, right here, even up here, multiple entries in this. Again, let's highlight, everyone wants to talk about entries. What do I look for entries? We look for bearish engulfings, evening stars, bearish variations through the moving average. So look at the cross plus the variation. That's two confirmations that solidify this as like a structure level for me. Again, right here, boom. And then again, right here, 3 white soldiers. If you don't know it, look it up. It's the fucking best variation in the game. No, I'm just kidding. But
very strong bearish variation.
We don't even call it that. We just call it variations. Yeah, we just call it variations. But as we can see now, price did manage to. We're trying to play it more conservatively. Price did finally break our high or low. What do we need now? As we talked about yesterday, we need the break. Now we need the retest. We need that next lower high. This is where because we don't have an entry right now. We'd have to put our stops all the way up here. We got to wait for the lower high. Then we can put our stops a little tighter, above that area where we're taking the trade, and we can get a better risk reward. So, that's GJ, a little bonus pair for you guys. So that's everything that we're going to go over for today. Definitely drop your name, in the chat, your Discord name, and we'll get you guys enrolled in the giveaway. Once again, just to recap, I went over UCAD, NU, those two pairs I'm looking to get in on positions, either today if they play out, or we'll see about tomorrow. I don't know. GU, USEF, UJ, went over those, and GJ. And once again, Nick went over, a ton of shit, ton of pairs for you guys. He's dropping analysis like a madman over there. So definitely look out for that. We try to update the higher time frame analysis in the Telegram and in the chat. So yeah, like I said, definitely a good week. If you guys are interested in the signals, right now $199 lifetime, just one-time fee. With that you get access to the signals, our fundamental updates, these live sessions, our trading plan, and obviously the private chats. You get access to signals. We give out all the trades, signals chat, give out all our updates, analysis. And then this is one that I think is slept on, that even I need to read more, is freaking the fundamental updates. This, you get so much. And along with all of that, with our signals, you do get access to a course as well with that, which I think a lot of people definitely don't realize.
Because it's all about it. Go ahead.
So yeah, if you guys are interested, just reach out, after this chat if you want to get in on that special deal. So what were you going to say?
This guy's going off in chat now. Yeah, the course is definitely slept on, guys, and it tells you exactly how to set up our trades, how to use proper risk management so that you're consistently growing your account based on our signals. So it's definitely a really, really key course. And we've never really seen anyone else offer that along with signals. So definitely an added value option for sure. Yeah.
Just a quick overview. Here's the course. Go over our top-down approach. Obviously, that's like our strategy or style. And then the fundamental course, gets into people that want to learn more about fundamentals. Then there's our trade reviews. So every week we'll just go over trades. So that has been, our trading session. I'm going to copy everybody's name from this chat, and I'll get the giveaway going right after this. Obviously we appreciate all you guys for coming on the session. This is the final session of the week. So have a good weekend.
Yeah, enjoy
everybody.
the weekend, guys, and we'll see you for the Sunday Market Blitz on Sunday.
Yeah, we'll be back for the Sunday Market Blitz. And if you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out to me and Nick. The best place to do so is going to be on Discord, in the Discord chat. That's where we're most active. So, yeah, hope you guys have a good rest of your day.
Thanks, guys.
Peace.